Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Joanne Smedley, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Warrant Officer Class 2, Joanne Davey. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. Please stand and join in the singing of the national anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place that families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Harry Fulford. Harry Fulford was born in 1886 to Ellen and Henry Fulford of Newcastle, New South Wales. He grew up around Cootes Hill and went to the local public school. In 1900, he was accused of stealing biscuit tins with a 27-year-old man. Although he was found guilty of receiving stolen goods, the jury strongly recommended mercy, and so his 6-month sentence was suspended. It seems this brush with the law was enough for Harry, and he had no further criminal convictions. He went on to undertake an apprenticeship at the Government Works at Honeysuckle Works, becoming a carriage builder. It was reported that he was very popular amongst his fellow workmen. Fulford enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force in late October 1914, just months after the outbreak of war. He was posted to the 4th Battalion and left Australia for active service overseas on the 11th of February 1915. The 4th Battalion landed on Gallipoli on the afternoon of the 25th of April 1915, and Private Fulford was among men towed ashore. He spent some time in hospital in Egypt after contracting enteritis, an inflammation of the small intestine. 6 months later, around the time of the evacuation, Private Fulford was again sent to hospital in Cairo. This time he was dangerously ill with meningitis. Harry Fulford passed away 2 days before Christmas 1915. The hospital's chaplain wrote to Fulford's family to say, "I had the unhappy duty of burial to perform and thought I would like to write just a line of sympathy, to assure you that all that we could possibly do to pay the past honours and respect to a brave man was done. His own comrades travelled some 15 miles to act as pallbearers and firing party, to give him full military honours at the last. There can be no compensation, of course, for a loss like this, but you will have the satisfaction of knowing that you and he, when duty called, have together made the sacrifice." Today, Private Harry Fulford is buried in the Cairo War Memorial Cemetery in Egypt under the words, "Fighting for us at home, he gained a hero's grave. He was 31 years old." His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, among more than 60,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Harry Fulford, who gave his life for us, for our freedom, and in the hope of a better world. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them. Lest we forget,
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrubber Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening.